Good afternoon, everybody. Edward Leos here, publisher of the Hotel Guide and your host for Travel Talk. Really excited about today's edition because we're talking about Las Vegas, which is one of my favorite cities and one of my favorite destinations. But we've got some great things happening out at the Venetian. And we have none other than Karin Davis, the Vice President of Sales for the property, on our call today. Karin, how are you doing?
Excellent. How are you today?
I'm doing amazing. I'm really excited to hear what's going on in your world. I also want people to know a little bit about yourself, kind of how you got into the industry and what got you to where you are. So for all our guests out there, tell me a little bit about yourself and how you got into the industry, maybe what led you to the Venetian, and then we can get into some of the good stuff going on at the property.
Wonderful. Well, I appreciate your time today and thank you for having me. I actually moved out from Boston, Massachusetts when I was 20 to come out to UNLV for hotel school. And I've been in the industry out here for over 25 years and had an amazing career. I love what I do. I'm super passionate about the hotel industry and about the Venetian specifically. It's been a huge part of my career. But I started out as a sales admin and just worked my way up in the industry. I'm currently the Vice President of Sales here at the Venetian, and I oversee sales department here, our vertical deployment, which is technology, insurance, finance, real estate, and medical and health, which is most of our corporate business here at the Venetian. For the last 15 years, I've been here.
15 years. Wow.
Yes.
That's amazing. I love to hear the stories of where our guests have kind of come from. To go from Boston to Las Vegas, what was that transition like?
It was a big shock. My family's all back in Boston. I came out here by myself, knowing no one, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. Took some getting used to, but I developed my career out here. I feel like I'm at the pinnacle in Vegas. I'd probably be bored anywhere else, and I love it out here, and I can't imagine living anywhere else.
No, I would probably agree with you. I love Vegas as well. And I can see the difference. I've been out to Boston for a conference one time. And so there is a big difference between obviously the cities, which, kudos to you for taking that risk and doing something and finding a career that you absolutely love and adore. So with that in mind, well, let's transition from where you were to where you are now. But let's talk a little bit about what's going on at the Venetian and what's so great that's going on in your world and why you love selling this property.
There's a lot to talk about right now. We just celebrated our 25th anniversary within the last week. And this hotel was developed in 1999 by Sheldon Adelson. And it was his love for Venice that he brought to Las Vegas. And it's the sweetest story about his gift to his wife, Dr. Adelson. And he recreated Venice and Vegas and brought the convention and meeting industry to Las Vegas. And I think at the time, everybody thought he might be a little crazy, like bringing convention business to Vegas. Why? Everybody can make plenty of money off of gaming. Why do we need that? And then, of course, the rest is history. He was the pioneer in bringing conventions and meetings to Vegas. And many followed after that, but definitely a successful story of layering in the business between the different verticals. As I mentioned, our 25th anniversary, our new owners, Apollo Global Management, recently announced $1 billion capital investment in our property, which we're super excited about. Wow. From top to bottom renovation. We also are doing $188 million in our convention center, which is going to be a space refresh, but it's everywhere from our Venetian guest suites, gaming, entertainment, amenities, logo, rebranding. So it'll be a brand new property within the next few years. So we're very excited about that.
What's the timeline on that total, not maybe just rebrand, but the total new look? What is the timeline that they're giving you guys?
You'll see most of the changes in the next year. Our Venetian suites will be done in September. Our meeting space, because unfortunately we're full most of the year, is going to take a little longer, but we're starting with level 2 this year over the summer, and we'll be done by the end of August. And then we'll make our way up through our level 4 and 5 next year, and then the final 1 and 3 the year after. So the whole brand new space will be done in 2026, but the main levels will be done this year.
Wow, that's awesome. So from a sales perspective, I'm sure you're really excited about this investment.
We are, especially the space, because our new space is going to stay true to our Italian heritage, luxury theme. It's still going to be it's going to be more modernized, more of a neutral palette, where our groups can come in and their brands can come to life within our space. The walls will be a little more neutral, a really beautiful deep blue carpet, brand new digital signage packages. So it'll look like a brand new space refresh, but still true to our luxury Italian feel. So I'm very excited to be selling that.
That's awesome. Actually, when you're talking about sales, how many people are in your sales staff?
We have about over 50 people on our sales staff, but that includes leisure, operations, analysts, trade show. Then we have the different verticals, trade show and association. So anywhere from 50 to 55 people
Wow,
total.
that's amazing. So when you're talking about the Venetian, and I've been there, and it's one of my favorite hotels in Las Vegas, and I'm not just saying that because you're in front of me on my podcast, but it literally is. Um, what's your most favorite thing about selling this property?
The people, probably. We still have many founders since 1999 that work here. Our experience and our expertise within our market, whether you're coming for leisure or for meetings, is just unmatched. I feel like there's a lot of new shiny pennies out there and some new hotels that are open that are beautiful. But our experience, the way we can guide our attendees through our building, the memories we make for our customers, and they always say to me, always feel at home when I come here. So that to me cannot be recreated anywhere else. That takes years and years
Yeah.
of service levels and dedication from our team. And they have the same passion that I do about this industry and about the Venetian.
Well, when you're leading a team, I'm also a leadership coach and a business coach in the hospitality industry. So when you're talking about customer service, when you're talking about all the uniquenesses that you're selling, it's really, people buy the salesperson before they buy the product. And a lot of people don't understand that unless you're really good at what you're doing. And so it seems that way. Your excitement and your zeal for the Venetian comes across, making you want to just kind of go there automatically. Like, I'm already excited about getting to Vegas soon, and starting to see some of the changes that are coming on board. But
So true.
as we transition a little bit from the Venetian, and let's dabble a little bit in the personal side, and we'll probably come right back to the Venetian because we got some time here. Travel is so important. You went from Boston to Las Vegas and took that risk, if you will. What are some of the favorite places you've traveled so far in your life?
I am a certified diver, and I have two teenagers that got certified as well. So as a family, we go diving. And I've had an opportunity to go to Belize and Honduras and the Caymans and all over the world diving with the family. I think my favorite trip was Belize diving with the family because that was one of our first trips where they were old enough to all dive together. And
Wow.
that's just one of my most memorable experiences of just immersing yourself in a different culture and just completely unchecking from the world and just getting to enjoy nature. So we just love that.
That's probably the most fun thing is for people in our positions, being able to uncheck from the world is probably one of the greatest things ever. I've been coming across a lot of wellness and experiential travel um, people that I've been interviewing, and it just seems that experiential travel is the thing right now.
Yeah.
It goes beyond. I mean, there's obviously wellness, but wellness is going to a whole nother level, and it's really interesting that you're saying that because it's really an important aspect of our lives and where we're traveling. So you told me a little bit about your favorite places. What's on your bucket list? What are some places on your bucket list, or even things to do on your bucket list?
Well, we enjoy mixing up the dive trips. So we've got a short list of places we want to go visit and dive in the future. Love to go back to Belize, but the Mediterranean, the Maldives, Thailand, we want to make our way through a lot of the top diving sites. We've probably gotten to maybe half of our bucket list, so we'd love to finish the other
Oh
half.
wow, that's amazing. What's the most challenging thing about diving?
Just to remember to relax. I mean, when you're on top of the water, it's a little hectic because the waves
Yeah.
are hitting you pretty hard. But once you get under, it's the most beautiful, serene feeling, and the calmness comes through, and the beauty of the nature down below.
Hmm.
I love night dives, and
Oh
you see
wow.
different experiences at night. But the best part about it is just the calmness that you experience once you get down. Just remembering, not to panic, just to relax and enjoy it, breathe. Those are all the things they tell you when you get certified. But just relax and enjoy the scenery. Don't panic.
That's probably the biggest thing. How do you translate that diving into the real world in your job?
Well, there's a lot of waves that come hitting you in your head as you go through the day. So as we all know, I mean, I just know that every day there's going to be, things that happen. We're in the
Mhm.
service industry. So trying to think two steps ahead, like how can I best guide my customers through the
Yep.
experiences in my building and think ahead for them. And when we do run into obstacles, come up with solution, nobody cares about the finger pointing. Like, doesn't matter who did what. It's like, how are we going to solve this and move forward? And I'd say that's my expertise. I've been doing this for a long time. I've seen a lot of things. So that's typically my approach is how do we move forward and how do we best, make this the best experience for all the parties involved. So
Yeah.
there's always a solution. So it's just, being creative.
Well, that's a sign of a good leader, and particularly a sales leader. You've got to have that ability to be able to help your sales team understand that you don't care about the messiness behind the curtain. Whatever's on the stage is you just want to get it done, and you want your client to be as happy as possible. And I know that you guys do that so well at the Venetian. This is kind of an off script question here, not hard hitting. But if you had to describe the Venetian or what you're doing in a word or a phrase, what would that be?
I'd say passion. That would be my word because it's about passion for taking care of the customer. It's about passion for traveling. It's about passion for creating memorable experiences. I think if you don't have, everything else you could train and teach, but you have to have enthusiasm. You have to have love and passion for what we do. And I think that's what embraces our property is our people's passion, our service. And Mr. Adelson used to say that all the time. He said, I'm nothing without my people. He proved that over the pandemic. He literally kept every single employee the entire time over COVID and said he'd do it for however long it took. Wow. And he always had that attitude with the team. Apollo has taken us over and had this similar attitude and treating the employees right. And when they're happy, they give back. And so I'd say passion is number one. And I think you can feel that walking into our building.
No, I agree. I've been there and seen it firsthand. I stayed on property several times, and you do see that from the guest service agents from the beginning, from the concierge to the bellman at the front. Just that ability to make the customer feel like you're ready for. Here's an experience that you're about to have. You are transported when you go into that property, and you're seeing. I've never been to Italy yet, but just to be able to be, taking photos by the canal and those kind of things, it's the coolest experience. So that's just an awesome thing going on right there. So as we're wrapping up, we got a couple of minutes left. Any final thoughts on things that guests should be looking for the remainder of the year in 2024? Anything special going on besides everything else that's going on? And then maybe what's the best way that you think a traveler should find you guys?
We have so many exciting things happening in Las Vegas in general that we've been able to partake in. So a lot of people have asked, you've done Formula One, you've done Super Bowl. So what's the next best thing coming in Vegas? Like, they keep wanting us to top ourselves.
Yeah.
We do a phenomenal job as a city at these huge events. Super Bowl was flawless. F1 was a major impact for the city. So we continue to redevelop ourselves. I think specifically for the property, I think one thing that I'm super proud of is our sustainability program. I just want to talk quickly about that because it's about giving back to the community, all the things that we do for our local community and how passionate our employees are about, whether it be through solar use, food rescue program. We were recently recognized by the White House for our food rescue program. If you think about this week, we have 19,000 attendees here for a corporate group, and what is happening to all that food that doesn't get eaten. Well, our team has done so much work in developing a program that allows that food to go to the community, to the people that really need it, and not be wasted and be good quality and get to them at the places and times that they need it. And our team has worked so hard on that and been successful. And like I mentioned, recently awarded by the White House for our food rescue program. So I'm super proud of that, of our give back. And, I know this is important to a lot of our partners and corporate groups and trade shows as well. So it's important to us that we continue to give back and make sure that we have a positive impact on our environment.
Yeah, I think that's always important. I'm seeing a lot of not just properties, but businesses in the hospitality industry really focused on sustainability and what that means, not only for the environment, but for the people that come to your property. I like to look at things as, being that little rock that you're throwing in the river, and the ripple effect happens. So when people leave your property, maybe there's a little bit of thought of, how can I take this home with me, and do some good in my community? So the brand advocates that you create from the products you're creating there is just amazing. So I didn't know about that. So I'm glad that we got that last nugget in there, because I think it's important for our guests and our readers and listeners to understand that as well. So as we're wrapping up, what's the best way for people to find information on the Venetian?
Right on our website, Venetian.com. We also have VenetianMeetings.com, and that is the best way to find out the latest and greatest. Everything is updated on VenetianLasVegas.com
Okay.
as it comes through. All of our entertainment, our restaurants, our new space refresh. So I always tell people go direct on VenetianLasVegas.com for the latest and greatest updates on everything happening here.
That's awesome. Well, our time is wrapping up, Karin. I want to thank you for being on this podcast. 15 minutes goes way too fast. I have a feeling that we could have talked forever about what's going on, not only from the hospitality side, but from a leadership side of things, the sales aspects. And I love your story going from Boston to Vegas, creating a new home. I like to say out in the desert, but it's just a fantastic place anyway to be out there. And so what you've done is commendable. And I'm so thankful to have you on this show today.
Thank you. And thank you for having me.
You're welcome. To all my readers, to all the listeners, to all, everybody out there, please like, please comment, please share. A lot of great things happening at the Venetian Resort in Las Vegas. And until next time, again, we always say this: travel, make memories. And until then, everybody, take care.
Thank you.